Scott, what's your feeling on whether Adrian will play this week?
He practiced today. That's all I'll say. We're going to make a decision on what's best for the team and what's best for him. It was close last week, but he wasn't ready, and we didn't want to put him in that situation. We need him for the rest of this year and for the rest of his career. So the key is going to be is if there's any added danger to further or more injury.
You hear a lot about Michigan's defense, but what's jumped out to you when you've really zoned in and watched it?
They know what they're doing, and they play really hard. On top of that, they got some really good athletes on that side of the ball at all three levels. Teams have a hard time running the ball against them, and they do a great job taking away easy throws and playing tight coverage. So you have to earn what you get against them.
Scott, when you looked at the offensive line play against Troy on film, what did you see?
At times we did things well. It's kind of like everything else that's going on right now. At times we did things well. At other times we didn't, and it cost us. If you're going to move the ball consistently on offense, you have to have 11 guys execute well better than 90% of the time, and we're not there yet. We're at a point where we're doing things right 70-80% of the time, and the other 30 or 20% are biting us and costing us drives. And it's not just the O-line; it's everybody on both sides of the ball and special teams.
You guys are top 25 rush offense and rush defense. Usually teams aren't 0-2 after being that way. I know you talked about the little things, but are there specific areas you pinpoint and say this is the thing we have to work on the most?
If it was as simple as pinpointing one thing, I think we'd be ultra focused on that. But it's details, and that's been our message to the team last week. It'll continue to be our message to the team, and it's not just on the field. It's deciding whether or not to make it to class, and deciding whether or not to be dressed the right way at meetings, and deciding whether or not to go home and go to bed and get sleep instead of doing something else. Champions make good decisions in every single decision that they have. Average people, average teams don't make those decisions, and little things lead to big things, and we're going to get it right. Don't care how long it takes and what we have to do. We're going to make those little decisions matter, because the little decisions and little mistakes of what cost us a couple games.
Are the penalties one of the details you're talking about? The 10 penalties each of the first 2 games?
Yeah, we look like an undisciplined team right now with a lot of the penalties. Now, some of them got corrected this week, and then other ones popped up. But too many mistakes, too many penalties, too many bad plays. I did see a great practice today. I saw guys practicing with an intention to be great. I thought it was our best Monday. It just kind of a different mindset today, and I hope that carries over.
You mentioned after the game if a guy didn't feel like he wanted to be on this ride to get off now. Has anybody got off the ride, I guess, since the start of the season, or has any of that happened?
No, it's nothing like that. I just want to get ahead of it. You know, coming into Nebraska and hearing about how things went down last year, I want to make sure that nobody decides to go off on their own. We're all in this together. There's a lot that had to be fixed. We fixed a lot of it. There's still a lot more to be fixed. You know, typically it's older guys. If you're going to have some frustrating things happen to you at the beginning of the season, that they're bought in, but not completely, and that's just what I don't want to see. I want to see the old guys doing things the right way, training the young guys. Everybody just fighting harder, and it's going to take more discipline, more attention and detail than these guys have done, and then that we've held them accountable to yet.
Scott, how do you keep their spirits up right now?
I think their spirits are okay. Judging off practice today, probably better than mine. Nobody likes to lose, and you know, I kind of feel like we're snake bit with some of the things that have happened to us at the beginning of this season. But again, that's the cards that were dealt to us, and we got to find a way to make it happen. But right now, I think the guys they're not in bad spirits. They're just frustrated, and they want to change the results.
Scott, what's your level of surprise with the amount of mistakes there's been as you think back to August? I mean, was there any indication that this team might be a little undisciplined?
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I think accountability is something that a lot of these guys have been missing as a team, and we're trying to instill that, and it's going to happen. And whatever we have to do to make sure that we're doing things the right way habitually, so those things become part of who we are, and then in the heat of the moment when we need it the most, we're going to fall back on our training and make those good decisions.
You were at Oregon, you faced Harbaugh a couple of times. He said today, in his press conference, you guys have mutual friends in the Stanford circle. So what's your impression of Coach Harbaugh and the way he plays, the way he coaches and his team play?
He's a good coach, obviously, and his teams play hard. I know that. They're going to be well coached, disciplined, and play hard. And listen, we hoped at the beginning of the season to go into this game with a good record. It hasn't turned out that way. This one's going to be more of a challenging game than the two we've played so far. This team's considerably better, in my opinion, than the two teams we just played and didn't beat. So this is a huge task, and we're going to have to play a perfect game and get a lot better in a week to come out on top in this one. But that's how the kids are practicing, and looking forward to it.
Is there a formula that he had at Stanford that he's carried over to Michigan, style of play, or something that you particularly respect about the way his team play?
Again, I think it's just they play really hard, and they know what they're doing. And at Stanford he had success. At Michigan he's had success. So usually those things follow somebody that holds teams to high standards and makes everybody do the right thing.
With Adrian's situation, could that be once again something that goes to game day?
Absolutely. Until I hear from trainers that he's progressed to a point that there's no risk of further injury, and we'd be foolish to play him.
And what did you like best about Maurice Washington, about what he brought to the table on Saturday?
Mo's a big play waiting to happen. He's just young. I think the fans are starting to see some of the things that he's able to do. Again, the unfortunate thing for Mo is we didn't get him in and admitted to school until late, and he didn't have the advantage of a summer conditioning program and being around the guys to learn scheme. So he's done a great job coming in and doing what he can. He's a really talented kid. I can't wait till a day when he has a year and a half in the weight room with Zach. But he's certainly a kid that can provide a spark for us in a game.
You mentioned under your coaching show you'd like to see more out of the wide receivers, maybe beyond Stanley and JD. What in particular do you want to see in that group?
Well, this week's going to be a challenge. These guys play a lot of man coverage. They're going to be up in our face. You have to be able to win. And right now we trust Stanley and JD to win. We need more guys to step up. And I think it hurt us a little bit at the end of games, these last two games, because we've had to play Stanley and JD a lot. Anybody would get tired as much as we're playing those guys. So we need more depth there, more guys to be consistent so we can get them on the field and keep them fresh.
How close do you think you are there to get what you want out of it?
We're close. There's a bunch of guys that show really good things. Andre Hunt's been good since he got here. He's just got to take the next step. Woodyard's been good since he's got here. He's got to be more consistent. Mike Williams continues to improve. Reimers has got to give us some reps. There's a bunch of guys. Tyjon Lindsey has got to be a little more consistent, but shows flashes. We just need consistent play out of those guys so we can get more guys on the field.
I think that punting differential is somewhere around 23, 24 yards. How are those two units, both the punt coverage and then the punt return? How are those? I feel like those are working.
Not very well right now. Everything else that happened, I think if we don't give up a punt return touchdown, we got a really good shot to win. Going into that game, we kind of had a strategy. We were going to lean on our O-line and our defense and our special teams, and tried to do everything we could for a new quarterback to not have to have the game on his shoulders. And the way we started it out, down 17-0, that became impossible. We got to make sure and get those things right. Our starting field position hasn't been very good, and that's due to penalties and mistakes on special teams.
Scott, do you anticipate some changes in personnel on those special teams?
Potentially, but that'll be every week. I'll tell you this, no matter what happens, we're going to be who we are, and we're going to do what we know works. And nobody's going to panic. We're just going to work. And I think if the coaches panic and make a bunch of changes just because of losing a couple games, the kids won't believe in us as much. So we had the guys out there on those units that we thought were the best going into the game. Not a lot's going to change. We just need to do a better job.
Does that mindset apply to the offensive line too, for the same five?
It does. I think offensive line it relates closer to the issue at receiver right now. Guys like Bo Wilson, Trent Hickson, Hunter Miller, some others need to step up and be able to spell some of those guys. We got tired on the O-line, particularly at the end of some of the long drives where we're going fast, and we didn't quite have the edge that we had at the beginning of the drive. And more guys that are able to play will help us. So we just got to keep bringing them along as coaches.
Is that really critical, Scott, this week going up against a defensive front like Michigan has?
Yeah, we're going to have to be at our best, judging off what I've seen on tape. So hopefully we're full strength. We're going to put them in the best position we can from a schematic standpoint on both sides of the ball and special teams. But we got to have a lot of guys make plays and play well.
How have you seen Harbaugh blend in? Shea Patterson, quarterback, he really wasn't a traditional, Jim Harbaugh type guy. How have they really worked him into that system?
Yeah, anytime you're starting a guy that's new to a system and a new starter, it takes a little while, and you can see the talent there. I guess we didn't know for sure if his offense would look more like it had the last couple years, if they'd go more spread this year. Shea's good enough to play in any scheme, and we watched him when he was coming out of high school, and I thought he was exceptional in high school, so I know how good a player he is. And it's kind of like our guys starting games for the first time. It's going to take them a little bit of time to get comfortable enough with everything to be as good of players as they can be, but I have no doubt he'll get there.
It's a water under the bridge now, but you guys obviously got Breon from Ole Miss. Did you guys even think about Shea, or was Michigan in on that deal well before anybody thought?
By the time I got to Nebraska, I think that was a done deal.